Cyberpunk 2077 is by far, hands down, the most adult game ever created for mainstream gaming. From the smallest details like the over-the-top sexually objectified ads of Night City, all the way to the deep and immersive romances, this game is going to break through boundaries we never thought possible in gaming. Now, if you have even the slightest doubt in your mind that you've missed something when it comes to the romance options and adult activities in Cyberpunk 2077, don't worry. I've got you covered, and I'm going to put you at ease with this video going over everything you need to know. Really quick though, Cyberpunk fanatics, we are less than a week away from release and the hype has become breathtaking. See what I did there? Big ups for tuning in. If you are a new visitor or returning one that enjoys top tier chef kiss Cyberpunk 2077 content, sub up right now, because when release day drops, you'll be missing out on so much if you're not here to see it. I'll leave it to you to decide, but I gotta say, I'll be bummed out if you're not here enjoying it all with us. Okay, now I'm sure if you've been following Cyberpunk info and news closely, you know that Cyberpunk 2077 puts a shocking amount of emphasis on adult content. Like, there is literally an entire street dedicated to it in-game. If not though, and you're a little out of the loop, don't worry, you're not alone. There are a ton of new fans here watching right now, and you are in the perfect place alongside them to get caught up. In today's video, we will be going in depth on romances, how they work, and all the known options you will have, alongside some crazy adult activities like explicit brain dances you as a player will have access to in Night City. With that said, there's a lot to go over, so without wasting any more time, leave a like rating down below to show your escalating hype for Cyberpunk 2077, and let's get started. First, let's talk Night City edginess and pick things up as we go. The ads, for starters, in Night City are actually wild. They are so bold and they sexually objectify almost everything. Things like energy drinks, vehicles, clothes, food, and even simple things like vending machines. If you haven't already, you'll see when you play Cyberpunk that Night City gives a whole new meaning to the term sex sells. But alright, wild ass Night City aside, let's shine some light on the adult attractions in Cyberpunk. Now, some of you possibly haven't, but I'm assuming most of you have seen or heard that there are going to be strip clubs and nightclubs in Night City. Even though it's no surprise they are in the game, strip clubs appear to include some crazy immersion that other games like Grand Theft Auto even haven't offered before or included. In different short bits of gameplay we've seen, we know that V, for example, at some point will have a spicy encounter with a certain dancer or NPC, which leads to an obvious hookup. Now, whether this interaction was triggered by the cost of some extra eddies or a result of a mutual attraction with V and the stripper or dancer is unknown, but it's foreseeable that players will be given the option to trigger a fling or casual relationship with most NPCs in similar lines of work. As an example, Johnny Silverhand, being the rock star he is, demonstrates this exact sort of relationship. In this gameplay here, we can see him being a true gentleman, spoiling a dancer with some drinks, but not before getting some top while throwing back a drink of his own. At least that's what it looks like. Let's come off the adult stuff a little bit and lighten things up and talk romance. Not every relationship in Cyberpunk is as loose and simple. Sure, you can get laid with ease, but if you prefer something more real and meaningful in the game, Cyberpunk offers that to you as well. It's not as easy though. Here's how it works. Check this out. Every romanceable character has their own particular preferences and will judge you right away based on something as simple as your appearance alone, and potentially leave you with no shot before you even try to talk to them. It gets pretty messed up and it goes pretty deep. In order for romanceable characters to become interested in you, you can't just agree with everything they say and spam the responses you think will get you in their pants the fastest. You have to actually get to know the characters, their personalities, their preferences, their morals, what makes them tick. You're going to have to spend time with them and check up on them to really make a relationship blossom and lead to a romance. You see, in Cyberpunk 2077, unlike other games, romances are more closely aligned with realistic human emotion and how people actually react like normal in real life. By choosing a certain life path, you can literally rub someone the wrong way and make it impossible for yourself to romance them just because of who you are. If you choose Street Kid, for example, they might have particular views on street kids that make them hate you without even knowing anything about you. Here, check out Meredith Stout, a confirmed romanceable character in Cyberpunk 2077. She is a senior operations manager for Militech. From the gameplay we've seen with her, she is a ruthless, cold, and calculated character. Now imagine a carefree, cocky street kid or a grizzly nomad trying to talk her up. Doesn't seem like either of their chances would be good, huh? You'd be right to think that, because apparently the Corpo life path path is rumored to be the only V that can romance her. Aside from bigger choices like the life path you choose alongside the people you choose to run around with as V, romanceable characters are super judgmental too, and everything from your clothing down to your genitals will affect your chances at scoring with any of them. Essentially, you're going to have to flirt the right way and really work as hard as you can on yourself in general with these people to get through to them and actually make connections with them to where you can actually make a romance work. I guess if you think about it, these characters are basically judging you and looking at you the same way you're looking at them as a player, which is kind of crazy. Now that you know how romances work though, and with Meredith out of the way, let's check out all the other potential and known romance options you will have in Cyberpunk 2077. First up, we've got the fan favorite and one you probably already know about or you've assumed is one, Judy Alvarez. Judy runs the brain dance suite at Lizzie's Bar and is known to deal in illicit brain dances for the right price. You've more than likely seen her plastered all over Cyberpunk 2077 thumbnails here on YouTube, images online, or maybe you're seeing her for the first time. Either way though, the only footage we have of Judy live and in action is during the Night City Wire, where she helps V learn how to navigate a brain dance chip. So far there is speculation and rumors stating that she is only romanceable as female V through the Street Kid life path. So unfortunately, that's a loss for the boys if you're choosing anything other than female V and Street Kid. Next romance option, not confirmed but strongly assumed to be a potential option and looking to be a close second when it comes to fan favorites, this woman. Yeah, she has no name yet, at least not that anyone knows of, but what little information we do have confirmed is that this female character is associated with the Nomad life path prologue based on the footage that can be seen in the Xbox gameplay showcase during the Night City Wire special. All this footage really shows is that she's outgoing, digs racing, and big guns. I'm betting she's more than likely going to be a romance option that is only pursuable by Nomad characters. Alright, we've got two more romance options to go over here, and then I've got some more adult activities to show you guys. So here we go. Number 4, romance option number 4 and confirmed is Jackie. If you don't recognize him, where the hell have you been? Jackie is seemingly a big part of V's story, as he is one of V's earliest contacts and partners in crime in the story. Not much is known when it comes to Jackie except that he's ex-Valentino and he values friendship, loyalty, and family above everything else. As for preferences, we don't know just yet, but seeing that he is part of all 3 life paths, I think it's safe to assume he will be one of the characters you can romance regardless of what you choose. And lastly, we have a potential romance option, number 5, Evelyn Parker. You may remember this blue-haired seductress catching your eye during the gameplay reveal for Cyberpunk 2077 when V is running a job for Dexter Deshawn. Now, first impressions for me personally, she's going to be a big player in this game based on her appearance alone. She just looks too badass. And I don't know about you, but I feel like she has this double agent vibe to her with her own ambition, and she can't be trusted. Based on the smirk she gives V at the bar though, I'm picking up on the vibe that she may be interested in getting closer to V, whether it's maybe to use V for her own agenda, but accidentally maybe developing an attraction along the way. I think ultimately it comes down to the way you treat her as a player and work with her. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Now, there are several more characters that we could speculate are romanceable since there aren't a whole lot of confirmed ones yet, but some just feel a bit more like reaching. Let's look at Bridget, for example, the leader of the Voodoo Boys. Prominent characters like this could very well be romance options, but we just don't know for sure. I mean, I'm all for it. I think it makes perfect sense because as V helps these gangs realize their goals and ambitions, it's going to directly affect V's story and how it plays out. So it would make sense that such a big factor in the story, the gang itself, would have a romanceable option within it so it could have that like impactful ending. Either way though, all romance options aside, don't forget if it's too much of a headache for you, you can just take the easy route and drive downtown to Jig Jig Street and find a prostitute. There are even sex bots if you really want no strings attached. Jig Jig Street is pretty much a red light district, and who knows the limits of this place and what you as a player will be able to do and interact with. One thing's for sure though, and it's that it's an experience I guarantee we will not soon forget. Now, last thing I wanted to mention here, everyone, before wrapping up this huge info dump of a video is explicit brain dancing. While brain dancing is used for so much in the cyberpunk world, from medicinal studies to crime scene investigation, The main streamlined use of Braindance in Night City society is for major companies to go out and get involved in situations that normal people could only dream of and record it for an audience. Basically, you can look at them like entertainment, movies, video games, and even memories of celebrities or icons in Night City. But some of them that are not so safe or intended for mass production fall to the wayside and get sold to the black market. This is where you as a player will come across what are called explicit Braindance chips, or XBDs. I seriously wouldn't doubt there being some spicy blackmail-worthy ones you'll find as you carve your path in Night City and lead you to some crazy side quest in this game. Anyway, you Cyberpunk fanatics, Fiasco family, that is it for today's video. We are so close to the release of Cyberpunk 2077, and from what I'm hearing, there are unfortunately leaks spreading like a virus all over the internet, so be careful out there if you're trying to avoid spoilers and you want a pure Cyberpunk 2077 experience. With that said, don't forget to leave a like rating down below for more Cyberpunk 2077 entertainment. I've got at least 2 more quality videos coming your way before release, so turn those noties on after you subscribe. Alright everyone, I hope to see you in the next one. Later.